the comments that John Cena made regarding Vince McMahon, we talked about it earlier in the show, wasn't even in the notes, but I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about it because it has been a hot topic. So in a recent interview with the Associated Press, he was talking about how he found it a little bit difficult to, to come to terms with how he felt about his feelings for Vince McMahon. And this is a direct quote from the interview. He says, everybody, and I think that they were asking him about, Vince retiring from the company amid the sexual allegation, sexual assault allegations. And he said, and this is a direct quote, everyone has the right to have their perspective. I have the right to have mine. When you love somebody, you take them as imperfectly perfect as they are. We all make mistakes. We all have poor decisions. Lord knows I've made my collection of poor choices. That doesn't mean I'm not going to love somebody. There's no way I can go on record and say I don't love Vince McMahon. Your thoughts on that quote?
I don't. That put John in some hot water because obviously what Vince did was not just a mistake; it was much bigger than a
Mm-hmm.
mistake. That's not his only mistake. He has like literally a stack. Like I could. A documentary wouldn't even cover. It would have to be a series to go through all this Vince McMahon's
It's about this
vile
much.
mistakes.
It's about this
It,
much mistakes, but keep going.
you might need more than that.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. However, I wasn't surprised when I looked at the quote, and I don't think anyone should be. Because at the end of the day, and as I stated previously, the whole reason why we know who John Cena is because of Vince. Like, it's very hard if you're in John's shoes to feel like I should slander this man who gave me everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like he was at the top of the food chain for many years, and he still is. He came back and he has a few with Austin Theory, and he still makes noise. Like everyone and their mama knows who John Cena is thanks to this man. He's able to expand and do all he wants to do because of Vince McMahon, and I feel like the relationship. Like hell, Vince McMahon said happy birthday to John Cena before Shane McMahon. Okay, like
Mm-hmm.
y'all seen that tweet thread where he said happy birthday to his lovely daughter, fucking Stephanie McMahon and John Cena, but like Shane gets like crumbs. Like he treats, in my personal opinion, John like the son that he always wanted.
Mm.
So I feel like that's just the relationship they have. It's very much like father and son.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he is going to look at Vince in a different light. Even though I strongly disagree with everything that Vince has, I'm not mad at Cena for having this type of take because when you love like a family member, and even if they are an entire fuck up, it's kind of like, blood is in your head, like blood is thicker than water. So you're going to be able to not necessarily rationalize everything that they did, but it's going to be hard for you to like look at them the way an outsider is going to look at them.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when
Yeah.
you're like in a relationship and you love somebody. You know what I mean? That person could have fucked up dozens of times, and like your friends are like, well, why don't you leave? But it's just like that's your person. To him, that's his father at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like Vince could die right now and a whole bunch of other shit could blow up, and I promise you, like John would still go on record and say nothing but good things about Vince.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like his loyalty is to him till the end of the day. So I'm personally not mad at John. I expect nothing less. Personally, me, like I said, if someone asked me, I would have just like refrained from answering the question at all because you plead the fifth to it. Then I mean, like it's above me. Like whatever you think, you think. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you can't be wrong there. But I understand why he just feels the need to be like, all right, I don't agree with what he did, but he messed up, and all we could do is move forward. And I love this man. That's just my take. But what was your reaction when you read this quote?
First of all, I'm glad that John Cena didn't try to pull oh, he didn't do it. Oh, that's not him.
Oh my god.
I'm so glad that he didn't do that. And I'm so glad that he admitted that, like, okay, he messed up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that that's a big step to make, even when you're talking about somebody that you love.
Yeah.
And so there's that. I think that what he said in that quote is a very, very, that quote resonates with me because I feel like I can speak for a lot of people as much as we don't like to admit it, there are people in our lives who we love, who have done some pretty bad things. And so
Yeah.
because of that, we have to constantly reconcile our feelings with them in context, of the reality that they may or may not have done something that was heinous and disgusting and
Yeah.
horrible. And
Yeah.
so I think what John Cena said was a very, very relatable thing. I'm glad that he has been able to just be like, listen, this is just how I feel. I love him. I'm not excusing what he did though. And I think that's a
Mhm.
very, very, very big thing. And but like from an answer perspective, that's the most John Cena answer you're going to get. That's probably the best answer that you probably could have gotten from anyone in WWE related to or tied to Vince McMahon in any way, shape, or form. It's
Mhm.
the most PR friendly answer. It doesn't
That answer looked like his tweets.
right. It does. It really does. Mad motivation. I'm like, yeah, John. Yeah. Thing feels like a Ford F-150 commercial. But nah, like I think John gave the best answer. And I think that even though we know what Vince McMahon has been accused of, it's one of those things where like there's only but so much that I can talk about it because like obviously the people that love him and that know him are going to have a very, very different view than we do because
Mhm.
they know him more intimately than we do. And I think that this quote is kind of proof on that. And so, you know, I think John Cena gave the right answer. I think he gave the right take. He didn't really excuse him for any wrongdoings, but he said, I can't sit up here and say that I don't love this man, and rightfully so. Like you said, his loyalty, John Cena's loyalty is to Vince McMahon. Without Vince McMahon, we don't get the John Cena in WWE, in the world of entertainment and sports. We just don't. So I think John Cena gave the right answer, not just the politically correct answer, but the right answer, the answer that he knew would kind of resonate with us. And I think that he did a really, really good job. That interview, by the way, is with the Associated Press. So if y'all want to know full context, be sure to
Mhm.
look that up and get a dose of that. So yeah.